I'm a 50-year-old girl dad who's actively dated for the last 3 years after a 16-year marriage ended about 5 years ago. I host a podcast for midlife men. I review dating profiles for clients, and I host a modern dating podcast with a female co-host. I mention all of this only to say that I get to see a lot of profiles, hear a lot of discussions and stories from both sides, men and women, and I get to talk about these issues with men and women on an ongoing basis. As I see it, one of the hardest overarching problems in dating is that most men and women only ever see the worst of the opposite sex. Straight women don't see other women's profiles or inboxes, so they have no idea how rough it can get on the other side. And the same is true in reverse. Men don't see how brutal it is for women in this day and age, how many awful profiles and messages and pictures they're filtering through every day. Women have never seen the honeypot accounts, the cleavage as personality bios, and the profiles demanding that a man be 6 feet tall, earn six figures, have six-pack abs, and then also includes 6 statements that all begin with no in all caps. You can say, but that's not me. Right. And millions of men say the exact same thing when they see a woman post that all men are dogs and only want sex. When I try to remind women that men have feelings too, that men also want love and support and sometimes a little softness, it usually falls on deaf ears. And honestly, I get it. Many of these women have been pummeled with rude, crass, lazy, uninspiring messages for years. I see so much low effort or even no effort behavior from so many men that it gets hard for me to defend them sometimes. You can't claim as a man that you want real love and a real connection while you're also sending out unsolicited graphic photos or leading with overtly sexual language in your bio or your opening message. No quality, decent woman is going to want anything to do with that. I say quality because there are women who will respond to that approach. Otherwise, the behavior would not continue. Something works, often just enough to keep the noise machine running. But the women who bite on those sorts of things are not the women that good, decent men are interested in anyway. That said, I do draw a big distinction between men who are generally trying, but maybe they don't send the funniest, most interesting message, or maybe they don't dress like Ryan Gosling. But there's a big difference between that and the men who routinely copy and paste 100 vulgar, low-effort messages every night and blast that out to every woman they can find just to see what sticks. Effort and sincerity matter. As I've discussed with Amber, my co-host, I believe that each of us has a line or should have a line in character, in behavior, in standards below which we simply don't play. If a man opens with what he can do with his tongue, he should get blocked and forgotten immediately. No more energy, no more thought, no rant about it later. The equivalent for me would be a woman asking me to send her money to get her nails done before our first date. Block, move on, live your life. We spend too much time agonizing over the worst of the dating pool when we could just choose to accept that a large percentage of people are simply not where we are in standards, ethics, values, or outlook. It is not our job to fix them or even tell them about themselves. Never argue with a fool. They'll only drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. When you shop for a used car, you walk past plenty that don't interest you. You don't film a video about it. You don't go on Facebook and rant about it. You don't spend the day complaining. You just keep walking until you find one that's worth a test drive. So here's the real question. How do we move through all the noise to find the sounds that we're actually looking for? You can't go to a concert and ask them to turn it down. If you don't like loud music, find a quieter venue or bring earplugs. If you want a better fish, you have to find a better pond. How do we filter out the undesirable people as quickly and as efficiently as possible without becoming jaded, bitter, or hanging our entire happiness on whether we've found our person yet? And here's what I'd love for women to hear alongside what Kat wrote. There are a lot of imperfect but thoughtful, loyal, reliable, and emotionally available men in this world who would love nothing more than to find a woman they can trust, a woman who doesn't undermine them, a faithful partner that they feel safe enough with to drop their guard and to pour out all of the love, the support, the adoration, the protection that they've been carrying around for years with no place to put it. Just as women need to feel safe and secure before they will ever consider sexual intimacy, a self-assured and self-reliant man will rarely let himself love a woman with wild abandon until he is sure that she is there to stay, that she is in his corner, that she won't attack his peace. Once a good and decent man truly loves a woman and allows those walls to come down, he does not come out of that easily. Something deep inside him locks in. This is when men will kiss women on the forehead the same way they kiss their children. This is when a man will step in front of any sword or bullet that comes out you without a second thought. The hard truth for all of us is this: women have to learn to bypass the men who are not decent, not genuine. Men have to prioritize women who have character that can actually sustain a relationship instead of chasing the loudest, the flashiest, the hottest, or the one with the biggest boobs. Both sides have homework to do. Both sides have something to filter for and something to offer. The action starts with each of us doing two things: refusing to assume the next person is the worst of their gender and refusing to be the worst of ours.